Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Nishmas Mordecai. Rav Waldenberg is over here. I don't know what he's doing here. Somebody pick him up and Afreilichem Purim, Rabbi Sai. Afreilichem Purim. What a Kiddush Hashem it is that every single one of you is sitting here today. How many years went by of your life that you didn't learn a word on Purim? A lot, huh? And here we are. Before the day starts, we're getting in an hour of Torah, or 15 minutes of Torah and 45 minutes of emails. So, you should all be proud of yourselves. I want to show you. Please tell this guy it's not a good time. He's disturbing me a little bit. Here, you ready? You want to show this? Hold on a second. I want to show you. You got it? Let's go. Hold on, you got to do it louder. Let me just explain what this is for a second. This is Rabbi Yisrael Goldstein from Borough Park, who sent me a message. I showed it last year. He showed it to me again this year. Many of you haven't heard or seen it. It was very geschmack. You got to tell your dad. Noise. I get disturbed by the wind. Sorry. So here's a guy last year, Erev Shabbos, after Lichtbenchen. But what was funny about this message, first of all, he says a lot of shvachim about me, so I love the message. But you hear his wife screaming at him, Shabbos, Shabbos, and he keeps on going. You ready? But very loud.
It's 5:40 now. It's ready 10 minutes after Lechtender. My wife lit the candles for Shabbos ready. I have 15 minutes, 18 minutes for shiur. I'm leaving you a message. Lechtige Purim, simcha tumid. I love you. You're the biggest Ma'abed Torah in the world. I listened to Yeshia at 2:30 this afternoon. There were 472 viewers on YouTube.
That was last year.
I presume there's many more on Torah Anytime, on all that. My wife told me to shut up. So I got this. Okay, Rebelli, I love you. And this is, you are, as they say, Monty, it is stress. My wife says Shabbos. Okay, Rebelli, this is, you are the person that gave me life after life. I thought life was, enjoying myself, photography, chilling out. But when I found you a year ago, less 1 week, because it was a week after Corona, a week after Purim, I found you. I really started living life. And my wife is really excited to know that you are the person that changed my life. B'Shem, my wife, my children, my sons-in-laws that are sitting in front of me now, I wish you a simchas Purim, a lechtige tumid. You should be Ma'abed Torah, as the disciple told you when you were a child, you should be the God Ladar. You already surpassed that already. You are the God Ladar. Everybody.
Listen now. Shabbos.
Okay, fine. Zayge bench, Rebelli, I will speak to you next week, Hashem. Hatzlachah, I'll be a good Shabbos.
All right, hold on. Listen to this. This kid, in the contest of people that say, good morning, Rabbi Isai, this kid is right there on the top. But here's a new one. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. This is get over here. This is not good morning, Rabbi Isai, but he does it like no one else. He's only 2 years old. Here we go. Get over here. Again? You got to hear this again. Get over here. And then what else do we have? This Yerushalmi Tzaddik, Rabbi Waldenberg, has no clue what just hit him. And now one last one.
We are in Butcher's Cut. This is what is happening.
Butcher's Cut. Erev Purim. Butcher's Cut. They do boards.
This is how it's done. Jerky is rocking. Butcher's Cut. And this is what the workers are doing.
Look at the sweatshirt.
Mecca's Daf Yomi with Eli Stefansky. This is the Siyata Dishmaya behind the butcher's cut. This is it.
Shkoyach. And here we have a kid dressed up as... He even has the sleeves. See that? Look at that. Shmak. All right, Rabbi Isai, we have an unbelievable daf. Let me show Rabbi Waldenberg 1 second because he doesn't know it's flying. Here, go to the video for a second. Rabbi Waldenberg wants to see what's on the slideshow. Hold on. Everybody scream out in one shot. Just you ready? That's what I'm gonna ask. Everybody together. Rabbi Isai, what's on the screen over here? He didn't pay attention. He's not even looking at us. Okay. Okay, so Rabbi Isai, the sponsors. Maybe a psinigan?
You already did, but okay.
What nigan? A good one.
You already did it.
Somebody gave me a gift. Let's see what it is. Just what I need to hang up in my dining room. My wife's gonna love it. Unbelievable. Yishkoyach. Here, where do we put this?
On top of our Kodesh, maybe?
Yeah, right over here. Wow. Yevaldik, who is it from? Do I know? It's from you? Yevaldik. Today's shiur is sponsored Parnas HaChodesh for the Koilel, Mr. Anonymous, the nishmas Chaya Bas Yosef, by Shlomo Lalezarian in honor of Akiva Simcha Stefanskys' birthday today. May Hashem bless you to grow in the ways of Torah, mitzvahs, and masim toivim. Sponsored by Moshe Kamiansky in memory of Miriam and Avraham Tzvi and Miriam Mindel ben Bas Zelig. Rabbi Isai, we're doing a special one-time thing because it's Purim. We're doing הרב ולדברג, אי אפשר עכשיו, סליחה. אני יודע שזה יותר חשוב, אבל כאן אי אפשר. Amen. We're doing a one-time Yishkoyach, a good Thursday. We're doing a one-time deal. We're doing a magbit for one of ours who used to sit on this table for years. And he's a real Evion. He needs money, stamazoi. But just this week he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And we're putting up a link. You could give money to Avi, to Noam, to myself, to Gary. So it's a one-time thing. We're making an exception because of Purim. And we should hear Psuras Toivos. Parnas HaChodesh, Shauly Rosenfeld, the memory of our dear friend Yehuda Augenbaum, and Parnas HaChodesh by the Lock Lebovic families, Lakewood, as a zechus for our families. Parnas HaChodesh, Jonathan Davydov for the Hatzlachah of the Davydov family. Mordecai Pollock, I want to dedicate the singing during the shiur Purim morning to zechus nishmas, Weiss, Avraham, Yaakov, Meshulem, who loved and lived for both spreading Torah and sharing his simchas hachayim. By Moshe, Yerachmiel, Ackerman, zechus, refuah, shelaima for Shlomo ben Chaya. So Rabbi, here we go. Let's see if I can get out of here. Yeah. Slideshow. We're in here. Let's get some laser going here. Okay. Let's do a little bit of a review. We actually finished off 6 words before the end of the sugya, but it's not really the end of the sugya because we have to go back anyway. We learned yesterday the longest Rashi in Shas, close to 1,000 words. According to Reb Chaim Kanievsky, it's the only difficult thing in Masechet Yevamos, which wasn't that difficult. If you know the case that we learned yesterday, there's nothing that is going to be too difficult in Masechet Yevamos. So, wrong daf, but thank you. Yesterday, a chashav person called up Noam Fix and said, "Could you please explain to me this case?" And Noam Fix, because he told me because of the visualization and everything, gave it to him like that. The guy was very nispal, and he joined on the spot. America's Daf Yomi. No, that didn't happen. But the first part happened. What happened was as follows: Levi goes to Rebbe and he says, "Why does the Mishnah only bring 15 cases? It should have 16 cases." Without going further, Rebbe yells at him and says, "It seems like you have a hollow head. There's nothing in it. Empty. You probably meant anusa simoi. Anusa simoi, it's a machlokes. Anusa saviv, sorry, yeah, thank you. Anusa saviv, Purim. Anusa saviv. Imoy meant anusa saviv. So, the Gemara goes through, well, the ars machlokes, well, one is in another parag, this, that. It's not a machlokes, Bisham is not a machlokes. Finally, the Gemara gets to this case. What about this case of Eishes Ach? So let me show it to you real quickly. Again, this is what it looks like in the art scroll. Not belittling the art scroll. No. We love art scroll, and we have a big thing with art scroll, and I use art scroll all the time. I'm just saying.
They said.
What?
It's starting to use your pictures.
They will not use
Next
my pictures, no matter what. You give them $1 billion, they won't use it. The live people, this, that. Okay. This is what I had. Don't, not so fast. Now I want to show you, I sent this to our artist who made all these drawings, and he was showing me this other program he believes I should be using, and just take a look at this, and now look at his. Clean and beautiful. Okay, so we'll use that. He was handsome yesterday, but you were sleeping. Sorry. You would have noticed if you would have been up. We had this yesterday, Dr. Factor. Shkoyach. Like that. It's the same. Say, you look a little skinnier because it's smaller. Let me show you again. Here, you see? It's a smaller picture. Don't get too excited. Fine. Rabbi Isai, step 1 is mace. Now, what he did very nicely that I didn't have, he has this lady right over here. He was married to, it's cut off over here, but it's not cut off by me. Fine. Maybe it's cut off by Gary. Maybe Gary can lower it a little bit. Let me show you. Step 1, this 6 steps. Mace noilad yibem, mace noilad yibem. 3 and 3. It's beautiful. Reuven dies, leaves a wife. Before his brother Levi, the handsome guy, right down here, was miyabem her. You see, he's miyabem her. This guy right over here, step 2, a brother was born. So that brother, because he's loyhaya ba'olamai, he wasn't alive when his brother was married to Rachel. He only came to this world after his brother passed on. Therefore, he's always asur to Rachel, depicted in a red arrow. You see this red arrow right over here? Asur. He's never allowed to marry the Yevama. Now, you don't have to say, whoever's doing that. I know you understand, and there's other people that don't. So you're making them feel bad. There's another brother. Levi goes ahead, and he marries this Yevama. It's Purim. You can make fun of whoever you want. Like I'm Levi. He's Levi. Stop it going. Fine. Levi could be miyabim this Yevama. Why? Because he was alive when Reuben was alive. So he goes ahead and is miyabim her. Then you go to step 4 on top. Let's move to step 4. Shimon is married to this lady right over here. This lady and this lady are sisters. You see that? The sisters. But Shimon Nebuch goes bye-bye. After he goes bye-bye, same exact thing happens. Zvulun is born, another baby with Payas. He's born with Payas, Gevalik stuff. If you look closely, I forgot to point it out, right over here he has a pacifier. The pacifier is not some pacifier, it's connected to a string that says MDY on it. It's very chashuv. Anyway, we'll blow it up one day. This Zvulun can never marry Leah. Why can't he marry Leah? Because he wasn't alive when Leah was married to Shimon. Okay? Shah, quiet up there. We got to go. We didn't even start. 35. Okay, we have plenty of time. Everybody davened already besides me and Gershon. So, this guy is Asur. But only according to Reb Shimon, this Zvulun guy could marry Rachel, as you see in the green arrow. You see this green arrow? He could marry her, he cannot marry her. Okay. Let me go back. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah. We should have started the sugya like this. Reb Chia says 2 klalim, 2 rules, that every single thing in the Mishnah fits into these two rules. I could take these 2 rules and make a case out of these 2 rules in every case in the Mishnah. First rule is, Hasur lezeh mutaris lezeh, v'asur lezeh mutaris lezeh. Second rule is, achayis sheyivimta. In other words, every case of the Mishnah could be talking about 2 sisters married to 2 brothers. One is asur lezeh, mutaris lezeh, asur lezeh. I could flip. I have 2 sisters that one sister is mutter to one brother and asur to another brother, and the other sister is mutter to one brother and asur to the other brother. I could take every case in the Mishnah and say there were 2 sisters. Okay, knowing that, here's the case of here you have 2 sisters and you have 2 brothers. One brother here, Zvulun, is mutter to this lady. Why? Because when he was born, she was already married to who, Rabbi Isai? Levi. Everybody knew that besides Levi himself. Spacing out again. You have this brother, Yisachar, who's also to Rachel. Why is he also to Rachel? Because it's but it's mutter to Leah. Why? Because that for sure he's mutter to, because he was alive when she was still married to Shimon before Shimon died. But it only goes according to Reb Shimon. Because according to Chachamim, Zvulun cannot marry this lady right over here, Rachel. Why? Because at the end of the day, he's a Eshes Ach Shel Lamai. He was not alive when, you hear? Why are you falling asleep, Eitan? You were making boards all night? Yes. I bet you it was. I'm serious. Today is one of those days that we say the consistency, because people had parties last night. It was hard to learn yesterday. It was a fast. To be here now is one of those days. It's difficult. And we're here anyways. We're learning everything. Somebody came over to me last night at the party and said, why did Meir Shapiro do it? Give us one day off Purim. But that's the whole Nikuda. There's no days off from Hashem. Anyway, so you guys see? It's already 40. Okay. So this is the case. If you don't understand it, it's good. Just go back, whatever. This is the hardest case that we have so far. And that is, you go back to the chart. We have 2 brothers, that one is mutter to this one and also to this one, and the reverse. Zvulun is mutter to this one and also to the one that the other one is mutter to. Okay. So what's the Gemara's question? Top of Yod Amud Aleph. At the end of the day, This is a machlokes, because according to Reb Shimon this works. According to Chachamim, this doesn't work. Because Zvulun is actually Lama. It doesn't matter that he came into this world when Levi was married to Rachel, but Reuven was married to Rachel beforehand, and he's dead, and he didn't see that marriage. So he's he's a brother that wasn't by Lama. Says the Gemara, Elul Rebbe, Haniklali Leslie. Look at this real quickly. You see these klalim? This trick that I want to take every case in the Mishnah and make it with two sisters, that one is mutter, one is asur. Rebbe doesn't believe in that. He doesn't say that it has to work in our Mishnah. But he does hold that our Mishnah is not in a machlokes. And therefore, the 16th case, which only is dependent on a machlokes, is not in our Mishnah. Which is Imay Anusa Saviv. Now the Gemara is going to give us a few other great tirutzim. Rav Ada Karchino Kamei de Rav Kahana Omar Mishmei de Rava. Rav Ada said in front of Rava, Loilom Islay le Rebbe Hani Klale. Rebbe does believe in these two klalim right over here on the board. And this is why now, listen to this. He calls him a name. He says, you're brainless. And now the Gemara is going to go through a whole omet to understand why is he brainless. I don't understand. L'chayra, he has a very good taina. If he's so brainless, it should have been very obvious. It wasn't so obvious why he's brainless. Okay, this is also very simple. Let me show you real quickly. Here's the first case of an Imay Nusasav, which we're not going to be discussing, but just to confuse it a little bit, let's see what we saw yesterday. We have here, Reuven was a product of an illegal marriage. Let's call it a civil marriage. The plumber with Rachel, they had Reuven. Now, happens to be that Shimon, who's Reuven's brother, right? These are the Baldwin brothers, they're always brothers throughout Yevamos. Shimon's permitted to marry Rachel. Why? Because Rachel is not the plumber's wife. Shimon is also the son of the plumber, don't forget. But he's not the son of Rachel. He can marry his father's anusa. Okay? So since he marries his father's anusa and he has another wife, the 5-town woman, and then Shimon goes bye-bye. Reuven cannot marry either one of those. Why? Because one of them happens to be his own mother. Reuven is the product of Rachel. And Shimon went ahead and married Rachel. And when he dies, Rachel falls to Yibum, to Shimon's brother. And that's his own mother. Now let's go to this case. A little bit more interesting. What are we trying to do here? We're trying to get two sisters who fall to two brothers. One sister's mutter to one brother, and one sister's mutter to the other brother. One sister's also to one brother, and the other sister's also to the other brother. We're trying to do that in all 15 cases. You're lucky we didn't go through all 15 cases. That's the 1,000-word Rashi. All 15 cases. We're going to go through this one now. So what happened here? Plumber was very busy. He had Rachel and Leah and 5-town women. They were all his wives, so to speak. One of them was a real wife, 5-town lady. He had 2 children with her, Reuven and Shimon. The legitimate children, and they're going to die, they're going to go bye-bye soon. But it happens to be that he's ma'anis 2 women. He had a legal relationship with Rachel and Leah, who are sisters. And Rachel had 1 child, Levi, and Leah had 1 child called Yehuda. Yeah? Do we do this again, Rabbi? Should we do it again?
No, it's good. Very good.
We have Yaakov, the plumber. He had relations with 3 women, and he produced 4 children from them. 2 children from the 5-town woman, and 1 from his illegitimate marriage, his civil marriage, we'll call it. 1 is Levi, 1 is Yehuda. Now, when Reuven and Shimon die, they went ahead. You see the green arrows? Reuven, before they died, Reuven married Rachel. Shimon married Leah. Here, should I show it over here? Reuven, in the green arrow, went ahead and married Rachel. Is he allowed to marry Rachel? Yes. Why? Anusa Saviv. Shimon is allowed to marry Leah because it's Anusa Saviv, it's not his mother. It's his father's Anusa. When Reuven and Shimon go bye-bye, you see down here, they lay down, they're smiling, they're happy, they go, Vey. These 2 women, Rachel and Leah, fall Ibum to Reuben and Shimon's brothers called Levi and Yehuda. These are the 4 Baldwin brothers, by the way. These are the only 4 Baldwin brothers we have on one screen. We don't have more brothers than that. Could Levi and Yehuda be miyabem Rachel and Leah? Why not? They're their mothers. Could they marry the other one? No. It's not a tzara. It's a mother sister. You can never marry. Yeah, it's a tzara. It's a erva. It's the mother sister. So could either one of them be miyabim either one of them? No. So does that fit into our klal in our Mishnah? We're trying to get a klal where 2 mothers fall down. That's good. They fell down to yibum. But that one can marry one, and over here neither can marry one. What's the way to get them to be able to marry one? This case, same exact case, don't get confused. Different women. They're not sisters. Oh, not sisters. So now Reuven and Shimon go bye-bye. Both of them fall down to Levi and Yehuda. Could Levi be miyabim either one of them? Yes. But they're not sisters. So it doesn't follow the klal that we're looking for. We're looking for sisters that fell down to brothers. So I could get you a case that two women fall down to... I can't get you 2 sisters. And if I get you 2 sisters, they're also on the 2 brothers. That's all the Gemara is saying here. If they were sisters, like in this case, I have the 2 sisters, great. Neither of them is mutter to any of the brothers. And if it's this case, great. I have one that's mutter to one and also to the yeah? This lady, this Sephardi whatever lady with the jeans, she's Levi's mother. Is she mutter to Levi to be miyabim? No. But Levi could be miyabim, the frumi, the one with the archgold siddur and all the things coming out. That he could. So it's muteres lezeh, asur lezeh, and Yehuda could go and be miyabim the Sephardi, but he can't be miyabim his own mother. We have that part of the case is great. The problem is that Sephardi is a Sephardi, and she's obviously not related to the Ashkenazi. They're not sisters. Then it doesn't fit into the klal of Rebbe Chia. Let's go back to the klal of Rebbe Chia. Right over here. Hasur lezeh mutar lezeh, we did klal number 1. But klal number 2, achoisa. He tried to get sisters in every single one of the 15 cases. He did not get the sisters in this case. And Memelo what? Says Rebbe, Halo. You know chap? It doesn't fit into our Mishnah. The Mishnah is giving us 15 cases because all 15 cases could do sisters that fall down to 2 brothers. One is mutter, one is aser. Your case of Imoy Anusasaviv does not work with 2 sisters and 2 brothers. Finished. That's why you have no brain. Rav Ashi Amar another teretz. This teretz, Rabbi Yisai, is amazing. It's very, very simple, this teretz. The teretz says that it is in the Mishnah. In Mishnah Daf Yud Gimel. The Mishnah Daf Yud Gimel adds another 6 tsaras. It's in there. Therefore, it's not in our Mishnah. That mamish ain't loy moich b'kot kadi. You can understand. What are you talking about? You're asking me why it's not in the first Mishnah? It's in the second Mishnah. There's a reason why it's in the second Mishnah, not in the first Mishnah. But it's in. You didn't have a chap here. Rebbe doesn't believe in Rebbe Chia that you could do all 15 cases with 2 sisters and 2 brothers. And you know what? I'm going to go and say, he doesn't care if there's machlokes, it's fine. So why do you tell me you have no brains? Our Mishnah, the first Mishnah is going according to Yehuda, Diktani. Dafid Gimel is going to have 6 arayis that are more chomer. What does more chomer mean? All arayis are equal. They have the same exact punishment. But they don't work. 6 arayis, a brother can't marry them. You never come to a situation of a tzara or a tzara because neither of your brothers could ever marry this. Very important. No one can marry the second woman, so it's not going to get to our first Mishnah. Our Mishnah is talking about where one of the brothers could marry this woman, and he's married to another woman, and both women become master when they fall to you. the 6 in the future Mishnah don't apply to the first Mishnah. And that's why your case of Ima Anusa Zaviv is in that Mishnah, not in the first Mishnah. So what are you asking me why it's not here in the first Mishnah? They could get married to other people, but they can't marry the brothers. So same mutaris. Therefore, if they get married to another person, you're allowed to marry their co-wife, which, who are they? Some of them. Imai, your mother. Your brother can never marry your mother. Why? Because she happens to be your paternal brother. You have to have a paternal. Yibum was only with your brother from a father. So if it's your mother, that means she was once married to your father, and it's also for all the brothers to marry that woman. So it's never possible. Imoy ve'eshes aviv. Ooh, what does that mean? There's the mother and there's the wife of the father. Aren't they the same? That's the dik of the Gemara. Ve'achois aviv. And a sister of a father. My imoy. What does imoy mean? Eli menesuas aviv. She was married to the father. Hainu eshes aviv. That's the next word. Elolav anusas aviv. You know what Eloi Mechbekot Kali means? You didn't know the next Mishnah, and you should have been medaik in the Mishnah, means Imanus Sasaviv, and finish. It's in the next Mishnah already. So what do you ask me, Kasha? El Lavinus Sasaviv. Imoy does not mean the wife, it means the one he had a civil marriage with, an illegal marriage. You can't marry, none of the brothers can marry her. Man Chamis lay, this lay high Svar Yehuda. And that goes according to Yehuda that Mishnah. So the kids, the bottom line is, that's in that Mishnah. It doesn't fit in our Mishnah because according to Yehuda, it's illegal, the whole thing, it wouldn't work. And besides that, it's already in the next Mishnah. And what? 10 minutes, 9 minutes. It happens to be, just when I was learning this, I felt good kind of, because in yeshiva I was guilty many, many times. I would sit there and ask you an unbelievable kasha. Now, not as good as Levi's, but like a kasha. Sit there and go back and forth and run around the whole base measures and mamish, lumdis. And then another day went by, another day, 3 weeks. Like, why does the Mishnah say, Ima Yanusasav, mamish don't chab? And then like 9 months later, I got to Daf Yud Gimel, like, oh, it's in the Mishnah. Oof. I just wasted a whole month. Like, the point is, sometimes you have to go weiter to see that your kasha is not such a good kasha, but I'm saying, like, even Levi might have been guilty of this, but obviously he knew the Mishnah, and obviously he has reasons to show and discuss why he asked the question. Not only that, after he got yelled at by Rebbe, he completely ignored Rebbe and he put it in his Mishnah. So, Zog the Gemara, review the fine. So ask the Gemara, but even according to Yehuda, why don't we have this case of the Ima and the of Avinasiv? What if he went ahead and he married her illegally? Says the Gemara, the E like Tani. I'm not in the Mishnah, excuse me. In the Mishnah, I'm not going to tell you a case of the E. Something that you over, a person was over. We're not talking about Bali Avera. Excuse me. I have another case. Yaakov, Onas Kalasov, Volume in a bed. Okay? Here we go. It goes like this. We have Yaakov, the plumber. He had a legitimate marriage with Rachel, and that produced Ruvain. Ruvain has 2 wives. Okay? He has the Frumi, 5 towns, 2 wives. Goes Yaakov, the father of Ruvain, and he's Ma'anis, his daughter-in-law, which produces Shimon. Is Shimon related to Ruvain? Yeah, you see they're both bald, so they must be related. They're brothers, they share the same father. Yaakov the plumber is Shimon's father and Reuven's father. Just happens to be that Reuven comes from a legitimate marriage and Shimon comes from an illegitimate marriage. So, Yaakov and Kaloso, and then what happened was Reuven dies. Reuven goes bye-bye. So his 2 wives fall to Yibum, to who? To Shimon. Shimon has a problem. One of the wives is his own mother. So he didn't do anything wrong. It's not a di'i, as the Gemara. somebody did something wrong on top over there, but right now, when we're looking at the story, it's not a deed. Mishkachas lo Yaakov onas kalos avodim menu ben umeis Ruven b'leibanim, and Ruven dies without children. V'nafla lekamei bra, and the 5-town woman falls liibam to her own son Shimon. Umigu migoy di'i asira, since 5-town woman is also to Shimon, tzarasa nami asira. So the frumi is also also to Shimon. It can't be yami either. Says the Gemara, what's the obvious answer? There's an issur that went on here. It's not the E maybe, but it's still a issur, and the Mishnah is not talking about issur, we're talking about legitimate cases. Says the Gemara, amazing. Levi put it in his Mishnah. He put in Imay and Usasaviv as a 16th. The Tani Levi Imay. Pamim, Pater Sarasa, Upamim, Ene Pater Sarasa. Ketzad, what's the case? Check this out. You have two cases that are identical. I don't know why that jumped. Is Gershon doing that? Okay, two cases. It's the same thing, just there's a green line between Yaakov the plumber and Rachel. That means he married her legitimately. It was Kiddushin. They produced Ruvain. If Ruvain goes, and then Shimon now, it's illegal for Shimon to marry Rachel. Why? Who's Rachel? His father's wife, because it's a legitimate marriage. In this case, right over here, it's not his father's wife, it's his father's anusa, so Shimon could marry her. But in this, that's all the Gemara is saying. There's two cases that are almost identical. There's between Yaakov, what happened between Yaakov and Rachel? If it's legitimate, so then Shimon had no business marrying his father's wife. So then when Shimon dies, then Ruvain's mother doesn't fall to Ruvain. Why? Because they were never married. Shimon was never married to Rachel. No, in this case. Shimon had no business marrying Rachel. So when Shimon dies, Rachel doesn't fall to Ruvain. It wasn't his wife. In this case, not this one. This one. This one, right over here, Rachel and Yaakov are not married, just civilly. So Shimon, who's the son of Yaakov the plumber, could marry Rachel, and he marries Rachel, and he also has the 5-town woman, then Shimon goes bye-bye. So both women fall to Ibam to Ruvain. Now Ruvain has a problem. It's his own mother that felt him to Ibam, and Memela, he's not Miyabim, the second one. But in this case, it's the same exact case, but Rachel and Yaakov are a real couple. They had Ruvain, a real child, a legitimate child and everything. Shimon had no right to marry his father's wife, and therefore when he passes on, he doesn't pass his father's wife, Rachel, to his brother. He was never married to her, so she's not a real wife. So could Reuven be miyabim somebody? Yes, he could be miyabim the 5-town woman, because she's not a tzara to anybody. Let's see inside. Yeah, a little bit confusion? Fine. Go back to the videotape for a second. Reuven's mother, sometimes she's legitimate and she could be shapater another tzara for something. If she was really married to her husband, and she had no right to marry Shimon, and she married Shimon anyway, and Shimon died. Now we're holding an Amud Beis, and people are starting to come for Shachris already. Sponsored by Moshe, Honor of Shmuley Sugar and the original sugar shaker. Sponsored by Moshe Kinsbursky in honor of Brian and Talia Edgar. But if it was this case right over here with the red line, he had no right. They're not really married. And even according to Review, this says Rashi, the Kedushin is typhus in this case. You believe it? Shimon, who according to Review, should not marry Rachel. He married her anyways. According to Review, that the Kedushin is good Kedushin. You shouldn't do it, but it's a good Kedushin. So when Shimon passes on, both his wives go to Ruvain, and one of them happens to be Reuven's mother, Mela Potter. It says Levi, I don't agree with my Rebbe. Rebbe yelled at me, said I don't have a brain. I think I have a pretty good brain. I'm putting it in my Mishnah. Rabbi, let me ask you a question. A brother dies childless, and he leaves two women to his brother to be miyabim. Those two women are no longer the famous Isser of Eishesach because they fall to evil. He goes ahead and is miyabim one woman. Is she Eishesach? No. We even learned that if he divorces her, he could take her back. She's no longer Eishesach. Is she, what about the Yevama? No. The Tzara, I mean. What if he does Chalitza, Rabbi Yisai? What happens to her? Does he remove the Eishesach? It's a good kasha, no? What's that halacha, Hillel? It's a machlokes. According to Levi, who puts in the Mishnah Nusa Saviv, so in other words, he says, what if somebody was over big Aveira? Listen, I'll tell you what happened. Check this out. It says in the pasuk, you should do chalitza. And it says, and she says, in other words, the Torah is mechadish that the Isser of Eishesach is removed, but there's a new lav. You didn't do it, you're not allowed to marry her again. You did chalitza to this woman, that's it, she's done. You can never marry her again. Is she your Eishesach? Is she the wife of your brother? No. That was removed by you doing chalitza. But I'll put another Isser on it. But it's not kares, it's just a lav. So look at this case. Shimon goes ahead. Reuven is married to 5 townswoman, and he passes on. Shimon goes ahead and does chalitza. Shimon is also married to Rachel. Now, once he does chalitza, it's also for him to marry 5 townswoman, but he marries her anyways. Is the kedushin toifes? Yeah. There's a lav. You see, it says the second step. Step number 1 was he did chalitza with that shoe. Step number 2 is he marries her with the green line. He marries her. Lav. Then what happens? Bye. So now, what happens to this woman? 5 townswoman. Is 5 townswoman a Eishesach to Levi or not? So says the Gemara. He did chalitza, and then, where's Berman? I apologize. We're mamish behind over here. He did chalitza, and then he performed kedushin illegally. And then Shimon dies. The migdi asura tzaras asira. So I have a case, another case for our Mishnah. Let's just say 16 that she falls liibum. Everybody's asur. She's asur. She becomes a kares Eishesach. She remains a Eishesach. 5 towns lady to Levi and Yehuda. And Memela, the Rachel lady, who is maybe a good Yevama, could have been a good Yevama. She's a tzara to the 5 town woman. And Memela, there's no Yibum done. Says the Gemara, it's a dead end. None of the brothers are allowed to marry her to where we could say a co-wife of a co-wife. We want to say Tzara, that's the continuation of the Mishnah. So in Mela, it doesn't fit into our Mishnah. Says the Gemara, why did Rabbi Yochanan, who holds that this woman, you see the 5 towns woman, and under the red line it says that it's a Issachar, Rabbi Yochanan doesn't hold this is Issachar. Rabbi Yochanan holds that this is just a lav. So Rabbi Yochanan should have told him it's a lav. According to Rabbi Yochanan, there is chalitza there. I'm talking according to you. The reason why it's not in the mission is because there's no tzar. Itma. Now, just going through this machlokes real quickly. We have 1 minute to finish Talmud. A person does chalitza, performs chalitza, and he should not marry her, but he goes ahead and he marries her. There's no kares because he removed the Eishesach. And the brothers, listen to this, because this whole thing, Asher lo yivnes beisachiv, is talking about him specifically, not to all the brothers. But what's the svara to say that it's on all the brothers? Listen to this. Are you going to take your kids to school? There's no head to leave in middle share if you're not taking your kids to school. What do you say?
I told my wife you'd say that.
No, and what'd she say? Too bad? I'm going to get Uncle Phil after you. Listen to this. Very, very good. Everybody is potter. Why? There's a lav on him. He. The Eishes Ach was there to begin with, remains forever. And according to Shlokish, even according to Shlokish, the Isser of Eishes Ach remains on the other women. He only removed it from the one woman that he did chalitza to, and only for him and not for the brothers. But Rabbi Yochanan says beautiful. Since he had the option to do chalitza on all the women, and he had the option to do yibum on all the women, and he went ahead and he did chalitza, what happened? He did the shlichus for all the brothers, and he did chalitza instead of yibum for all the brothers. So whatever happens to him happens to all the brothers. What happens to this woman happens to all the women. She is the carbon, and he's the carbon. He did the shlichus on that woman for everybody, for the women and for the men. What you're going to tell me that after he performed chalitza, there's still kares? Ella. He did the shlichus of all the brothers. She came in instead of all the women. And Memelo, whatever happens to her, happens to all the women. Whatever happens to him, happens to all the brothers. Should we continue? Yeah. One minute. Eisve, yeah? Our case, he does chalitza, and then he wasn't allowed to marry her after chalitza, but he did it. And he dies. What does that tell us? That his kiddushin was worked. Otherwise, if it didn't work, wouldn't be necessary to do chalitza. If it's only a lav, how did it do chalitza? Because the kiddushin worked. Which is a issa kares. Nothing happened there. So he says, why is it that if one of the brothers comes and marries her, it's not chal at all? According to you, it's just this lav. It should work. Why are you telling me it doesn't have it? Look, it looks like me. You're right. According to Rabbi Akiva, it doesn't work because it's a chayv lavim. Ask the Gemara if that's the case. So say so. Say that it goes according to Rabbi Akiva. But listen to Rabbi Akiva, ain't lo of klum. Kashya. Very good Kashya. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful Purim. Yishkoyach for joining Tiskul and Mitzvahs. Shaya.